Hey everybody, Nicole here with Sobotics. We are live. I have two wonderful, amazing people with me. Tabitha, our trainer, and then I have Chris. He is one of our graduates. He's going to talk all about himself, so I'm not going to make him do a regular introduction. I'm Nicole with Sobotics, if for some reason you don't know that, and I'm also on the board for Repairs First Association. So if you want support for your retail repair business, definitely look at Repairs First. So let's get right to it. Chris volunteered to do this with us, which I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it, because it's really hard to get people that are busy, successful, doing what they're doing to go live and be kind of like, talk about what they're doing, because it's like everybody is okay to hear you're struggling, but when someone starts talking about I'm doing pretty good, you always, it's like this weird thing. Oh no, you can't talk about the good, you're bragging. But for us as a school, it's really important to showcase students that are actually still in the field and doing things with that training. And so I was so excited when you offered that to me, because we are always looking for the opportunity to just share a story, just to motivate someone else. And by no means are we saying that just anybody can jump into this industry and it's just like, bam, success overnight. But if you do it the right way, and you start the right way, and you have motivation, it can be good for you. So
Exactly.
yeah, we have a list of questions that we've sent Chris already, and Tabitha knows them. We're just going to ask. We did this with our last call with Laura. So for first one is, Chris, just tell us a little bit about you, about Smartphones Plus. What about you personally? Did you have a tech background? Were you working in a store before you even got into this industry? Like, tell us a little bit about you, your
Yeah,
family, things like that.
sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I have no tech background, no experience in this industry when I first got into it. When I first got into it, I was just working a full-time job, 40-hour week, just like, everybody else. I was at a life insurance company at the time, dealing with a lot of research and things like that for contracts and policies.
Mhm.
Um, and that was not the my dream job by any means. I was going back to school at the time when I had that job too, for finance. So business has always been what I am truly passionate about. So I knew I always wanted to do something in business. I just didn't know what that idea or that product would
Mhm.
be. So I was doing some research. I always wanted to open a business, like I said. So when I had a break between semesters going to college, I did research one time, because I was bored. I had nothing to do when I got off work, and I was used to doing homework all night.
Yeah.
I also had a child at the time too, so I was going to
Oh,
school full
wow.
time, going to work full time, had a child, so I was doing it all. Um, yeah,
Darn. When
so
did you take our course? You took it was like 2 years ago, right? Was it 2 years or was it
it was
3 years?
it was about 4 years ago.
4 years. Jeez,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
how the
So
time flies.
right. So I saw this guy out in New Jersey, I want to say. Probably people that are familiar with phone flipping know who Dave K is. He's one of the guys in the beginning that used to put a lot of videos out. So I never took one of his courses, but I did just look at all of his free courses he had on YouTube. And I was like, well, this guy can just go and buy phones on the marketplace and sell it on eBay or wherever he's selling it. I was like, I can do that. So I looked in my city, and sure enough, there's a ton of people undervaluing their devices. So I went on there, bought a phone from someone on the marketplace, and I resold it the same day on eBay and I made like $50 profit, right? So I was
Okay.
pumped.
Yeah,
I was
right?
like, this is great. I can make a little extra income. I didn't even think about starting like a full blown, company out of it at the time. Um, so I just ran with it, started putting ads out, I buy phones. And then that kind of blew up. Everybody started hitting me up and wanting quotes and wanting me to buy phones from them. So my other brother at the time was going to the University of Iowa for marketing. So I was like, you got to get in on this with me, and any money that you make down in the city you're from, you can just keep, and I'll keep what I make, and we'll just grow the Smartphones Plus brand together. So now we were buying phones from two locations. We're just doing out of our apartment. He's doing it out of his dorm room. And then
Wow.
we had another brother that lives about 40 minutes away from us. And he's like, why? We're like, you got to get on this too and do it in your city. And he's like, yeah,
Right.
definitely. And he's like, but why aren't you guys fixing anything? And we're like, well, we were just buying broken stuff, selling it broken, not fixing it, not messing around with it. And we're like, well, we don't know how to fix it. We don't have time to learn how to fix it, because like I said, going to school full time, got a
Yeah.
kid, job, all this and that. So he's like, well, I'll come in and learn how to fix it. So he just YouTube stuff, and we were just fixing our own buybacks that we were getting and just figuring it out along the way. And then we're like, all right, we need to figure this out because we're breaking stuff, we're not doing it right. We gotta figure out who can teach us how to do this. So we Google searched a whole bunch of places. Well, there actually wasn't a whole bunch of places because there's only a couple to go to.
It was like a handful. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a whole bunch of places. And that's when we stumbled across Cellbotics. And we did a whole bunch of research on Cellbotics, and then we reached out, and we weren't able to go down to Nicole in an in-person class because, well, we were starting out, we didn't have a lot of money, and we had our lives up here. So Nicole, we did a training for 2 days, and that's how we started. So we did it all over webcam, 2 days. And
right. And I remember we used to do those just for people that would like special request them. You know what I mean? And we would be really clear, like, this is going to be hard,
But let me tell you, when we took that class, that was the missing link to the repair puzzle for us, because ever after that, I mean, I don't even know if we ever had to contact Nicole again. I think I contacted Nicole one time after that because there was some weird issue with the home button thing or something. But literally, that was it. Okay. And I'm not kidding when I am telling you that Cellbotics is the real deal. And this is 4 years ago. And if this was 4 years ago, it's way better now. So I just know it is.
We change all the time. We're constantly updating material, and our courses so much more thorough now. Like, I know. When I think about like 6 years ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we were like cavemen, and now we're like so automated, and everything is like so delivered well,
I love seeing the growth. I appreciate
that, Chris. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So that's how we got into the repair. So I was calling around everybody. We never wanted to open a retail store, never wanted to do repairs. What we wanted to do was an online buyback business similar to Gazelle, Declutter. Those are the big guys in the industry. So we developed a website. I wasn't spending any of this money we were flipping from phones. We were saving 100% of it because I already had a full-time job, so I didn't need to pay bills. So I was saving all my money, 100% of the cash profits. So we made a website, and it was basically just like Gazelle's or any of the other buyback websites that everyone's familiar with. And then, so I started calling a whole bunch of places around my city. Hey, can we set up like just a little table and just start with the local customers and introduce everybody to, letting people know that they can sell their devices, get money out of it, that there is another option. So I called a local mall. They said, yeah, you can set up a booth for a weekend, and for like $200 more, you can just get like a kiosk and have a permanent setup here. So we're like, we didn't want to do that, but we're like, okay, let's do it. So all we were doing there was just buying phones. We were not selling anything. So we were just buying, and we did that for a couple months, and then after we did the Cellbotics course and felt really comfortable, then we brought that out to the public for repairs. And then we started selling phones, accessories. And then that's kind of when everything became full circle. And then we're like, well, if we're going to have this retail place, we want to have an actual store, because our number one thing is selling used and refurbished devices. It always has been. So we're a little bit different than your traditional repair shop. So we are from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and we opened our mall in Coralville, Iowa, in the mall. And Cedar Rapids is about 30 minutes away. It's where I'm from. So we opened a store up here about a year after we opened that mall location. And right when we were opening was COVID. So but
I did good in COVID. I'm not going to lie. I got like a huge contract in COVID.
You did too. I'm getting to that part. So, so we were 1 month away from opening our brand new store in Cedar Rapids, and COVID hit. And then as soon as we opened, the mall location for us was shut down for a month and a half. And our retail store it wasn't open either because of COVID. So all three of us, all we did was come back to my place, and we're like, well, what are we going to do? No, we're not just going to sit around for a month and a half and wait for the mall to open. We're going to do something. So what we did was, during the COVID time, that's when we we're like, we have this website, let's do something with it. We already had the buyback website built out. So what we did was contacted a whole bunch of affiliates and got listed on their affiliate sites. And now all we do is we are receiving quite a bit of packages every day from customers.
Did you hear that pause?
Mailing us packages from all over the United States. So, wow. So yeah. And then we went past COVID. We tripled our sales during COVID that year. So it was, yeah, it's crazy. It almost forced us to get online even more, use what we've built. Right. So then the store went really well. I had a lot of success in our store. And then about a few months after we opened that store, we left the mall and opened another store down in that same city where our mall started. So we don't have a mall kiosk anymore. So now we have 2 retail stores, which are fine, but we also, our online business is where the huge growth is happening for us. So a lot of people ask, how many more stores are you going to open? How many, retail places are you in this city and that city? And we're like, no. And honestly, we do not plan on opening any more retail stores.
Okay. What are your plans? Because if a store is watching right now, which I didn't quite understand. So this is something that I'm learning too.
Yeah.
And they want to sell phones. You buy phones from them, or you're just marketing to people?
So what our next step is, and we've been actively looking for this for a few months now, is a facility more like a warehouse industrial space, because we're to the point where we cannot keep up. We don't have enough space.
Oh, wow.
So we're receiving packages every day. If you go on smartphonesplus.com. You can sell your device to us just like you do to direct buyers. And some of the prices were competitive. Some of the direct buyers probably beat us. It just depends what you're looking for. But yeah, we have phones.
Is that right? Smartphone Plus.
Smartphones Plus. Put an S after phone.
Okay, let's change that.
Smartphones Plus.
Smartphones.
But yeah, we have people that flip phones and they'll go on our website, and this is from other cities, and they'll, buy something for 50, sell it to us for 80, and make $30 real quick, instead of going through eBay or wherever it might be. But we also work with businesses, some schools. Schools are a little harder. They have a little bit more requirements that they need, but we do tap into some of those too, and government agencies and all of this. So they're finding us, whether it be through our affiliates or organically online. We do some marketing too on Google and Facebook.
Are you thinking about doing maybe like an R2 or ISO or something certification?
Yeah, definitely in the future. That's something that we will look into for sure. That's kind of a next step for us. I guess the next step is actually finding a facility that we can, ship out of, because we have people and all they do is test devices, right? So all they're doing is getting the packages in and they're just phone checking. We use phone check, and they phone check the devices. That's all they do. It's, push it down a line, goes to inventory, and then it pushes out to our sales channels online or into one of our retail stores or website, wherever it's going.
And if a retailer wants to buy from you guys, they can buy from you too?
Yeah. So recently, within the last few months, we have on our website, if you look on smartphonesplus.com, you'll see up at the top, there's a Business Plus section there you can click, and there are 2 links under that. One is for business accounts, meaning our local schools and businesses, and then there's another one for wholesale customers. So yes, if you fill that out, we'll get in contact with you, and all of our pricing online, that's really for more retail customers. But wholesale customers, we have a whole nother list that we can send out pricing.
Got it.
And do all that stuff.
If there's any phone flippers watching, are you a direct buyer? Would you be considered that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We work with
he's a direct buyer too. There we go.
Yeah. I mean,
I love it. It's great.
The way we do it is not how the traditional direct buyers do it with the spreadsheets, right? You can just go on our website and see what the prices are. and things like that. So it's all self-serve. You don't even need to talk to anybody. If you want to talk to somebody, we do have a phone number and email and, the chat function on our website.
Because what if they're like, I have a bulk lot I want to sell you, and they want to kind of haggle with you. Okay.
Yeah, we can make it easy, and we don't haggle a lot, to be honest. But we would for large enough deals for sure. I mean, that's why we have that form on there too. So if someone does have more phones or devices, then we can talk to them more personable. So
I'm excited for you because we personally, I mean, I can't say our clients' names because we sign contracts, and so but we have a lot of depot clients, and people don't know that about Cellbotics is we work with depots to build out once they get their facility and they start getting in devices, then they start evaluating, was it worth it to fix these versus just selling them or parting them or harvesting them, or and then when you get an R2, recycling them, and so they have us come in to build out their training and their repair programs. And I mean, shoot, we're going next week to do that. And so I love this for you because we see the success that happens on that side and how massive it is. And we meet people all the time that had stores, that started in stores, and now they've got these multi-million-dollar facilities where they're processing devices, and that's why I'm just super happy for you, because R2 is kind of like a little bit of a buzz right now in the industry. I'm working on putting together a live where we're going to talk with some people that are in R2 that were own stores and what they're doing now and all of that. And the reason that I'm doing that, I just want to kind of share the information that there is a progression in this industry. You can find yourself doing different things than just what you normally think. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm super happy for you guys. So you gave us a lot there. That was great. Let me look at my questions. So tell us some struggles, right? Because people always think, oh, you just got in, you were a business guy, you knew how to do it. No, you always it's always like this kind of, especially in the beginning, you know what I mean? So like, tell us, like, was there some struggles,
There's definitely was struggles. I mean, there's three of us brothers that started it. So that definitely helps out, having three of us that are trustworthy. We fully trust each other. And once our vision aligned and our goals, we're all on the same page. So that helps a lot. I can't discount that because that's huge.
Chris, when you're talking about family, it just triggers me to think about spouses. Now, I don't know if you have a spouse. Do you have a spouse?
I do not. No.
You do not. Okay. This is something really important. Just like Chris has kind of come together with his brothers, I feel like sometimes spouses can be a big fork in the road. We meet majority, it just is what it is. Majority of the people that come to our class are men. Okay. It is a male dominated industry. Sometimes we have women in here. We love it. It's great. We wish there were more. Right. Yeah. And we hear this over and over again, where I'm here, my wife don't really want me here. She thinks this is nonsense. And it's like, if you need the people closest to you to support you or not be in it at all, because if they are holding you down, it's really hard. You know what I mean? So I think you having your brothers, I think that's awesome that you guys were able to do that. And I hope that more people can take away from this some inspiration that you can work with your family and people close to you. It's difficult, but it's difficult working with regular people. You know what I mean?
It's very difficult working with regular people and trying to trust them, especially if you don't necessarily know them.
Right. Trust is so hard and so it is. People don't understand. Like, if you think about somebody like Tabitha, right? And the exposure that she has to everything in Cellbotics. If I didn't trust her, I'm at a big, I mean, like having a key, being able to know the alarm, like, and you've got, we've got 1,000 devices sitting in here from a client, and each one costs $1,200. You know what I mean? Like, and so trust, and then knowing that they want the best for you too. And I think as brothers coming together and do that, obviously that's what you guys want. You want the best for each other.
Exactly. Right.
That's awesome. So let's see here.
So struggles, you want to know some struggles?
Yeah,
one of the biggest things. Let me just tell you one of the biggest things that I did not, for whatever reason, when I was starting, didn't think it would be as big as what it became. And that is employees. That was the biggest struggle. Well, I would not have guessed that hiring would have been one of the things that is holding us back from growing as fast as we want. Obviously COVID had a play in that, but if we throw COVID away, what we figured out was it comes down to SOPs, standard operating processes, and that's it. And I'm not kidding. And, whoever's going to listen to this, you hear about Nicole preaching it and other people preaching this, and there's a reason, because it's true. So over the last year, what we have done, me and my brothers have just documented literally everything. You think something's obvious to do and the employee will do it your way, it's not obvious. It literally has to be like spelled out. How loud do you want the volume to be every morning? When do you want the trash can to be taken out? Just little things that sound obvious and they're not.
Stop expecting people to think of things like you.
Right.
They're not the owner. You know what I mean? They're not an upper level. And I always look at owners, I'm like, oh, it's stupid. He should have just known. Why didn't he think of it? Why would he think of it? He's doing his job. He's clocking in and clocking out. You have to give the tasks, It's like with me and Tabitha, I've learned I have to be vocal. And then I have to say when I didn't say something right. If something didn't get done right, I didn't explain myself right. And there's been times I've had to say, this is my fault. I'm sorry. I should have explained it better because you don't understand my vision. And it's not, I'm being angry with her. I'm like, I'm not wording what I see in my mind clear enough for you to be able to put an action behind that. Would you agree, Tabitha?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But employees are the hard part, and building that up. And, when we have 30 technicians in here working on our B2B repairs, we're getting food. We have these SOPs. We have SOPs on the wall. I mean, like
literally. Right. Make sure you ask for a screen protector case and get insurance on there. I mean, we have that everywhere, in the bathroom, doors, by the water fountain.
We've got it taped on the wall, like every position's SOP. If it's in that area, like QC, the SOPs are on the wall. Like,
that's great. Yeah, exactly. It's important,
so they can look it up too. But so that's a really good tip. Thank you so much. And we came up with this white label training platform, and we have SOPs and training slides and everything on it, and facilities are loving it. I mean, the response that we've gotten from the facilities, I know retail, they're a little hard sell on training and SOPs, but facilities, like what you're going to turn into, they eat this stuff up because they know how important it is,
Exactly. Right. Because they're there. They can't live without it anymore. Otherwise, they will fail, because there has to be a standard at a certain level. So our whole goal was to implement that standard at a low level, because our whole goal is, we know we're going to grow like 100%. So we need to, instead of, okay, now we're this big, now we're like too big almost, and don't have anything into play, and everything's, going to hell almost, we just put the stuff right now in, and there's some stuff you just make up along the way, right? You don't have every scenario that's going to come up day one. So just have to have an open mind and remember that, another thing we found out is, every time we hire a new employee, almost every time, and they ended up not working out for us, it obviously is a bad thing, but we always learn from that. And we say, what did we do wrong in this scenario? Or why did they quit? Oh, because, like, for example, we were hiring people and didn't have a daily checklist for them to do. So we're like, come on, guys, can you pick it up and do something out here a little bit? There's no customers coming in. How are we going to drive traffic? How are we going to do this? And it's like, all right, stop. You can't expect your employees to think that way. They're not the owner. I'm the owner. We're the owners. They're just there to get a paycheck, and just get the customer out. So we figured that out. We implemented a checklist, and it's broken down to the hour, every couple hours.
I love it.
Day. So we can go, it's on Google Docs, so they can check it off, right? And we can see exactly where they're at throughout the day. If it's a busy day, we obviously don't expect them to get it done all the way. But if it's a slow day, it shows right there in the numbers if it's slow or not. So you should expect to have it done. So little things like that are huge.
They are. Tabitha and I use TeamWave, and it's awesome because we have a lot of things going on, right? But there's levels to different things. There's importance to different things, right? And so, like, she has a whole list of things that she can do when there's slow time, but we have our core things, and that software helps us so much communicate. Like, we don't even have to talk. Everything is in there. It's really awesome. Like, everything goes in there. Our meeting recordings, we record every meeting we have. We record client meetings. We have our project management in there. It's just fabulous. And so yeah, I think that that's really important. So we're gonna let you go soon, but I have 2 more questions for you.
Yeah.
You're gonna go to the expo, right?
I'm definitely coming to the
Okay.
Gadget Repair Expo.
Okay,
Yes.
I better see you at the expo.
What I'm coming. That was one of my goals this year, is to start going to more expos, because I just haven't the last couple of years. Obviously, COVID was there for some
Yeah.
of it, but it just wasn't the right time for us because we were working on our business. That was our
Yeah.
main goal. So, but now
Yeah.
we're looking to really, really grow it, and it's been awesome coming out to the expos.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I would love to see you eventually exhibit, because what you're
yeah,
doing, I believe by next year when you have your facility and everything,
yeah,
you'll be ready to really start working with these store owners. I mean, I know some
yes,
store owners got 10, 15, 20, 50 locations, and they like partners that can, buy things and process things. So whatever you're doing, always keep that in the back of your mind. If you want to reach store owners to be, store to store kind of thing,
yes.
but now you're going to be facility to store. So that's exciting.
That is another goal and step for us, is to become the vendor at these expos events, because yes, we do. There's a huge opportunity that these repair shop owners unfortunately aren't taking advantage of, and
Mm-hmm.
that's selling pre-owned devices.
Right.
Smartphones Plus is the largest used reseller of electronics in the state of Iowa for retail setting anyways.
Nice.
Um, and probably one of the largest around, just because not a lot of people do it in store anyways. Obviously, sure, there's, the huge guys online that do it, but in store retail, even when I go down to, the hot cities like Florida, that have a lot of phone repair, lots of phone repair, but not a lot of like just smartphone electronic
Yeah.
stores. I mean, yeah, sure, there is, the repair shops sell some devices in there, but
Even then, sometimes they're not selling enough. I
right,
mean, we've gone to stores and they keep the devices in the back and they just mention it to people, like they need to
right,
be out on display. You need to,
yes.
even me, I started out, my stores were device sales stores, and we
Okay.
added repair, and I had
Yep.
my own tablet brand.
Mm,
So I was all about selling electronics. I've
yeah.
spent years pushing electronics. Like, I'm so good at selling electronics. And repairs just came into that because we're like, okay, we're selling so much, people are breaking it, they're coming back, they can't find somebody to fix it. And so that's why we added repair.
Yeah.
But selling devices is like core to me. Like, I love selling devices, and I think everybody should be selling devices if you have a store. You know what I mean?
There's scenarios that you can provide a better customer experience when you sell devices, because you can now offer solutions to the customer. Maybe the screen repair, as we all know, the screen repairs are becoming more expensive. So if
Mhm.
that screen repair is, $300, $200, whatever it might be, and if you sell used electronics, you might be able to say, well, hey, for an extra $100, you can literally get another phone, and it's
Yeah.
actually going to be 2 generations newer. So instead of putting
Mhm.
money into this, I mean, that's just all day long for us.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I would. One thing I want to do is, help out these other repair shop owners
Mhm.
that don't sell electronics, because I get it. Sometimes depending on where you live, some of the wholesalers, the prices, they can't really make a lot of money off of them. I get it. But you just have to look for specific devices that will make you money.
And you know what I used to do is lower my profit per device and focus on selling more. I feel like
Yeah,
sometimes we want to get a lot of money off of one device, and for me, I felt like that was the wrong way to go about it. And when I changed that model, I got so busy to where my wholesaler would just send me devices every week. I was selling out every week. I had 7 locations. So he would send hundreds of devices. I used iPads, was a really big thing at my stores. He would just send them and say, pay me on Monday. Like, literally,
yeah,
like, he
that's
was just
great.
here. Like, let's not even worry about it. Tell me what you got left over, because we were pushing so much, and it was just easier for me to say, okay, we're going to cut it down to this much profit this weekend, and let's just push all these out the door. You know what I mean? Because I knew what I could work with. And he got to where he was just unloading all of his product onto my stores. That's how close we were and how much I was selling. But it happened because I wasn't trying to gouge every device. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Probably got word of mouth referrals. This is a good place
Yes.
to go for,
I was in
a good
my
tablet.
target demographic was Hispanic, okay? And
Yeah,
I've grown up in the Hispanic community my entire life, so I always have felt really comfortable in that community. Even though I don't like speak Spanish, I can kind of understand it. So
yeah,
for me, that was my demographic. And so they are very word of mouth culturally. And so I spent very little on marketing and advertising because it was all built on relationships. We had free Wi-Fi, we had juices, free juices for kids. We had sand, like little bags they could sit on, like those soft bags that you sit on, beanie bags. And, they would just come, they could bring all their kids and they could sit down, have juice, and they could shop. And, we would sell 6, 10 tablets and phones at a time. Like it was crazy, but it was all built on
yeah,
relationships.
exactly. It's huge.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, your plans for the future. You've kind of given this that
Yeah.
already. That's usually the last thing I say, but
Plans
you've
for,
told us that.
yeah, sure. Plans for the future, real quick. Obviously,
Mhm.
look for a facility so we can
Yeah.
really grow even faster the online buyback business, get into wholesaling,
Mhm.
and help out some of these, whether it be repair shop owners or just other business owners as well. Um,
Yeah.
and
Maybe
yeah, I
you'll do
mean,
repair as a service and you'll need our white label platform.
yes, exactly.
I just have to plug that there. If you are a facility doing repair, you need our LMS.
Yes. 10 locations or more, you get it for free, I noticed. So
That's right. If
there
you're
you go.
retailing at 10 or more locations, you get it for free. But if you're a facility and
Oh,
you're
a
doing like
facility, I guess. Yeah.
barbecue and you're doing, it's really inexpensive. I'm not going to say the price, but for facilities, it's a killer deal and it'll change the way your facility operates. So, well, I'm going to see you at the expo. Chris, thank
Yes.
you for doing this for us. Again, I really cannot tell you how much I appreciate you for doing this. And say hi when you're at the expo. Of course, you always do.
I
So we will see
definitely
you there.
will.
It's going to be a blast.
Yes,
Good
I
luck with
know it
everything.
will
Let us
be.
know if you need anything, okay?
Yeah, for sure. I will. I
Okay.
definitely will. Well, it was great talking to you guys. And
You
yeah,
too.
we'll see you next month.
See you next month. All right.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.